you want to get mad?
Yeah.
Let's get mad.
Let's get mad.
The L.A. Fire Fund. You know, they had this big show, big fundraiser. They raised $100 million.
What, did all go to BLM?
Wait till you find out where the money went. It's James Lee did a thing about it on Instagram. Yeah, and there's been articles written about it where people are like, where's the money? The way they distribute the money is so crazy. You're gonna read this and you're never gonna want to donate to charity again because you find out what charities are really, what a lot of these non-profits are really about. The lady running the charity that got the money makes almost $1 million a year.
BLM, Me Too.
Yep.
This
a bunch.
Same lady.
It's all
no. But it's all. Everyone's like, well, let me get a
Same
taste.
fucking lady. She's killing it.
Listen to this.
I watched this. I looked into it a little bit. We'll watch it, but what they say though is that within the first month they distributed half of that money.
Hold on, before you press play on
I
this.
also don't trust this.
Hold on, that guy with the fishing hat is not a reliable news source.
That's my number one source of news.
And then he's trying to blame the Annenberg Foundation. That is one of the richest fucking families in California. They're worth so much fucking money. And
wonder how they got money.
I mean,
Fire Aid is giving Fire
It doesn't matter. If like
liberal ass Jamie, you fucking Ohio State fan, liberal ass.
How about just play the video? How about play the video and let everybody figure it out for themselves?
Let's platform this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, play it, liberal.
Jesus.
Sponsor might be one of the biggest scams in disaster fundraising history. And as usual, I'm bringing the receipts. First off, according to reports, the Fire Aid benefit concerts raised over $100 million, supposedly for LA fire victims. Cool. But since then, residents have been asking, where did all the money go?
$100 million raised for residents, community things, and funds that are supposed to help with Palisades, and there's no accounting.
He played football.
Let's figure this out. So, according to the Fire Aid website, it says that all direct donations will be distributed under the advisement of the Annenberg Foundation. According to the IRS 990 form, the Annenberg Foundation is a 501c3 based in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
I live there.
In this
Conchi,
lovely
baby.
office building. One massive red flag is that only 33% of their annual expenses goes towards actual charity programs. The rest goes to administrative costs like executive compensation. If you look at the numbers, they treat you pretty good over there, starting with top dog Cynthia Kennard, who's making $750,000 plus another 6 figures in bonuses.
She started the fire.
Basically almost 7 figures just for one person there. Here is Cynthia, a.k.a. Cinny, hanging out with Gavin Newsom, discussing or strategizing about things like how to solve
Would.
Both of them.
6 beers.
Yeah.
Anyway, just to give you a point of comparison with another nonprofit, Doctors Without Borders, they spend almost 90% of their money on actual programs versus less than 1% on administrative costs. Local journalists have also been asking, where's the money? They found, quote, the Fire Aid website names only 3 Palisades organizations that receive grants, among almost 120 organizations listed as receiving.
A couple Jew ones.
No, keep it
You
going.
see who got the money?
A couple Jew ones in there. Hold on, let me read it.
Why'd you stop?
Because he's focused on the Palisades.
Just play it.
120
Just play it. We'll
None of
talk
them
later.
are specific to Pacific Palisades.
Went to Israel.
Those 3 are Kehelet Israel, Chabad of Pacific Palisades, and Palisades Charter High School.
Listen, scorpions
Others have tried
sting.
to directly reach out to the Annenberg Foundation. They were kind of given the runaround, various extension numbers. Somebody saying they would call them back. No one called back.
Well,
also
customer
referring
service.
them to some mysterious man named Philip. No last name. He was never found. This is just crazy. So essentially what they're doing is taking the $100 million, then paying themselves roughly 70% of it.
Wow.
And then the rest of the money they're dishing out to various other nonprofits with their own administrative expenses. And that's how $100 million just ends up disappearing.
Ay.
Wow.
Benefit.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's exaggerating. But at the very least,
This is what the
30%,
NFL does. NFL does with the
30%,
cancer research stuff.
70% goes to administration, 30% goes to the actual cost.
These nonprofits,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
they're for their
that's
own
crazy.
profit.
And
Well,
the
it's just a
insurance bailed on
loophole.
them, too.
It's a loophole.
But
they found a
but-
loophole to make a great living by being virtuous.
And then they see a fire and they're like, sick, we're all getting raises.
But all we're saying, Jamie, is that this guy is saying that 70% traditionally goes to administrative costs, 30% goes to the actual problem.
Right, that's for all
But
charities.
if right. that is for all charities, for a lot of charities, but not Doctors Without Borders, which is one of the things that he brought up.
He just picked one, though.
Right,
He's
but
comparing you with this stuff to, he's like, I'll pick a charity. And he picked probably one of the worst ones, We've gone over the charity stuff many times. There's
right.
good and bad charities.
There's good and bad charities. But the point is that this $100 million, you're saying, was distributed to a bunch of different places, not just Pacific Palisades.
Looking into it, too, $100 million was a number that got used in advertising to make everything look big and look good. Probably, I was trying to say too. Assuming that it is $100 million, there's a bunch of companies and a bunch of artists that said, "Oh, I'm going to pledge $1 million. I'm going to pledge $1 million."
They never.
And you have to go collect it all. You don't know if they all sent it in.
Oh, you know how many times I pledged stuff?
I pledged $1 million to Notre Dame's NIL. I haven't done one single.
Did you do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Were you in your apartment?
No, I was at the fucking championship game watching Ohio State win, and I was going, Notre Dame needs a D tackle. I'm going to give them $1 million.
For real?
Yeah. And then they were like, "Hey, you want to give us that $1 million?" I was like, "No."
Like the Panera Bread thing?
The Panera Bread thing.
The Panera Bread thing's amazing.
You almost have to respect it.
You almost have to respect
It's
it.
so brazen. It's like,
Explain it to people.
wait, well, hold
that
up.
don't-
Yeah, the Panera Bread. So it's like you're going to raise the minimum wage for all fast food restaurants to $20 an hour, except for Panera Bread. Because the Panera Bread guy is his friend
I think it's
and
except
donor.
for, but the way around that to make don't look that obvious is places with bakeries.
But that's not, what is the, I mean,
Why? Why a specific way of cooking?
there is no
Subway a
rational
bakery?
justification. There's no rational justification for it. And so it's almost like,
Oh, it says Panera is not exempted from California's fast food minimum wage law after all. On February 28th, Bloomberg reported that bakery chain Panera would be exempt from California's AB 1228 law, a law that raises minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to $20 an hour starting in 81. So why is that? How is it not exempted?
that's a hell
if
of a
it's-
fact check. I didn't know that. Yeah.
But they were saying that it was bakeries were exempt. So what is exempt? It said, okay, Governor Gavin Newsom told the Los Angeles Times Panera would not be exempt from the law. The spokesperson also did not acclaim the Bloomberg piece, which cited sources close to the matter that Newsom pushed for an exemption that applies to businesses that bake bread and sell it as a standalone item, calling the report absurd. So is it a fake story?
Or is it something that they
might have corrected
hustled on
course
and corrected
quickly.
course quickly? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, roll up to the top. So where's the initial report? Let's find the initial report. Because why would Bloomberg spread bullshit? Bloomberg is a financial paper, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's not something.
I don't think it would be.
You really can't do that if you're running a financial paper. It's not like the New York Times. The New York Times can say Israel bombed the hospital and 500 people are killed and put it on the front page, even if it's not true. And everybody just assumes it's true because it's the New York Times. But they can kind of get away with that. And then they still exist. But if Bloomberg started doing shit like that, if Bloomberg started lying about businesses and what businesses would do or tax laws, that seems insane. How Panera Bread ducked California's new $20 minimum wage. This is Bloomberg. Governor pushed for a carve-out that's perplexed industry observers and benefited a donor. So how do we know that this is true? Do we have to subscribe?
The dreaded paywall.
One second.
Okay, no worries. We'll subscribe. We owe you, Bloomberg. But it's there must be something to it, and it's so hard with that guy because when you just look at the way he praised Biden, I would never run against him. A man of character, like I'm old school. It's God. It's like he's playing someone in a movie that's a crazy person. It's like that's how like a really good actor would play a complete crazy person who's insincere enough that smart people recognize it.
Yeah.
But that like really dull-minded blue no matter who people are like, he's a winner. That guy, he's got my vote. I'll tell you what, he can win. He can win this for us.
But the problem is that that's not wrong. I mean, Gavin Newsom is a fearsome political talent, and his willingness to do or say anything and do it with a straight face, with that sincere voice and that cool, swoopy hair. I mean,
I love that he keeps getting busted too.
Yeah.
I love that he got busted during the pandemic, eating inside with no mask on. He's just fucking.
The shamelessness on that guy is like it's like a laboratory specimen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually is an interesting guy and fascinating person in that way. I'm not a fan. I disagree with him politically, but I don't think he should be underestimated because those of us who can see through it, I think are actually a pretty small number of people.
Well, I think you're probably right, and I think there's also people that just want a really good quarterback for the team. That's what I think. I think they barely care who the president is, and I think that's obvious with Obama. Excuse me, with Biden. Not with Obama at all. The opposite with Obama.
Yeah.
Obama was like the best example of what we have to offer. But Biden is, without doubt, anyone can beat him. If you were just comparing competence, someone who you would trust talking, someone who you would trust to go meet foreign dignitaries, there's zero. He's no one he's going to beat. He's not going to be a single living politician. But since he's atop of this team, that people are like, this team is our team, no matter what. Like, we're all in. I'm a fucking 49ers fan for life.
Yeah.
That's what these people are doing. Although I did get like a bizarre, I did enjoy affecting the election.
Dude, imagine. I can imagine.
I did enjoy it because I didn't want to. I did not want to get involved in any way, shape, or form. But it got so weird.
Yeah,
crazy.
You'd expressed that publicly in the past.
I was like, I don't want to have nothing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it in the future. I didn't want to. I just felt sucked into it. I'm like, like we can't do this again. We can't do it with these same people that fucked us for 4 years, and then they're gonna we're gonna do it differently now. Like what's going on? Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. A speculator, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's doing
really?
This. Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy because it's happening while these people are. Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this. Play this. And give me.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush. The amount of money they could have saved by just clearing brush, by filling the reservoir, that 11 million gallon reservoir was completely empty during the time of full fire season. Like, why didn't you fix that?
Yeah.
Like, it's all insanely mismanaged. And then this guy is on television talking about, we're really excited about that. Doing a dance in front of the burned down home that people used to sleep in, where their children would sleep in. Like, this is so disgusting. That's why I don't want to be governor.
What's funny? I was going to tell you about, on the way down here, I happened to be sitting across from one of our senators from Montana. And after, when the flight was getting off, it's hilarious. This old timer comes by him and legitimately, I'm not joking, legitimately brings up to him potholes on the road.
Really?
Like on the airplane. It's like, you got to do something about these potholes. I'm outside of Belgrade and those potholes are terrible. He's like, okay, yeah, got it.
Well, I mean, the senator can't do much about, obviously.
No, I know, but it's just like, it's almost like a cliche. But the thing with the other night, guys that I grew up with, like a fish that was very central to our upbringing was a fish called smelt. There's different kinds of smelt. So we had a rainbow smelt, and they live in the Great Lakes. And so in the spring, when the smelt run, it was a big deal to go smelt dipping, and we would smelt dip them with drop nets and dip nets. It was a huge thing, and when smelt numbers were really high, it was just like it kind of brought everybody together.
A lot of my buddies used to do that in Massachusetts.
The smelt run.
Yeah.
So the other night, someone had taken out a clip where someone had taken out a chunk of an article in my friend circle and had sent me a thing where Trump had called the Delta smelt like a basically useless fish. And I was like, man, I feel like there needs to be like a article in the Constitution that the president cannot shit talk smelt, But then I realized it was a different smelt, so I got I cooled off once I realized it was the Delta smelt and not our beloved rainbow smelt.
Well, you can there's a balance, right, in terms of like being environmentally conscious, but also recognizing the needs of the human population.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been distorted in California significantly.
Yeah, but I do get like my hackles get up about disparaging fishes and birds.
Of course, yeah. No, I get it. That's your world.
Mm-hmm.
That's your world.
If you enjoyed today's episode on JRE Plus, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you.